All right, back for another episode of Allegedly. This is a special episode. I'm joined here by the disputed voice of the Armada, Louis.
Thank you very much for having me on the pod.
You're very welcome.
Stuart Weber would dispute me on whether or not I am the voice of the Armada.
I dispute you on it.
But I'm definitely at least the co-host of Fleet Footy, live every Thursday on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network, the official show of Jacksonville Armada, everything soccer. So appreciate you having me on.
You're welcome. And my esteemed colleague, CEO of the Jacksonville Armada Football Club,
Thank you.
Nathan
Thank
Walter.
you. I would call you celebrity at the Fleet and Footy show.
I would too.
Thank
you know,
you.
at this point, it's you got your run now. That's it. It's over.
It's nice, being the mouthpiece, being able to, have that trust that you give me to be able to hold my tongue sometimes behind the scenes as, we're in a certain little studio right now. But
You do a good job.
thank you, sir. Thank you. But it's been a lot of fun now working with Chris. We met a while ago now. This stuff has kind of just been slowly rolling out into what it is now.
It's funny because I feel like it gets realer and realer every day.
Yeah.
Right? And I think when you start like a journey like this, there's a million hoops to jump through. And it takes a lot of resolve to, kind of to and from, beat the punches,
The hoops are real.
The hoops are real.
The hoops are very real.
And there's more in front of us, but I think we're more determined than ever,
Yeah.
to make this thing a reality.
I love the statement that was made a couple of weeks ago where you said, we will this thing over.
We will this thing over.
No pun intended with Will, who's production behind the scenes.
I always like to give a shout out to Will on here. He tries to hide that he knows me from the people in his inner circle because some of the outrageous things I say in this podcast.
By the way, he's a dancer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you've seen his Instagram,
Yep.
like, the man can dance.
I have seen the gram. Yeah. It's impressive.
He was just in Los Angeles a few weeks ago at one of those nightclubs that people go to with the tables and the poles and whatnot, showing off some of his skills. He showed me some pictures when he came back. I was really proud of him.
That's allegedly those places.
Will's going to deny that. Yes. Sorry, guys, just having a little bit of fun here. But like I said a few weeks ago, we will this thing across the finish line through raw determination.
That's it. And it seems to be the Armada way anyway.
Yes.
And from someone who's been sitting at the ship for the last 13, going on 14 years, actually, I believe it's just been the anniversary because November I started back in 2013.
It's amazing.
So yes, it's definitely the way, and I've said this before. I said it in a podcast last week. We have some amazing people at the table.
I could not agree more, and I think that's when I, make statements of how. Oh, thank you, sir. How certain I am that we will this thing across the finish line. I say that with confidence because of looking at the people, including yourselves, sitting around the table. And there's some fun news that I think we've all been working on that should be dropping today. By the time this podcast is probably cut and produced, it will be news. So I think when is this going to drop on Friday? It can drop tomorrow. Let's make it wait a day. So that we can actually talk about this.
Okay.
Should we talk about this?
Yeah, I agree. I like it.
So big news coming out. Zoyer Sports has signed on and agreed to go public with us as their lead as the operating partners for the team. So Nathan can kind of give a little bit of more context on kind of what that means, but there will be a statement that will be released by the time you may be hearing this podcast that you can go read for yourself. But Nathan, you want to kind of fill in the details, give it a little color?
Yeah, would love to. Again, we go on the presence of people and having good people around. The fact that we get to bring an operator to come in and support us from a friendship standpoint, you, myself, Andy Kaufman, the CEO of Zoyer Sports, have a great friendship and relationship, and that's been marinating over the last 4 or 5 years since you've been involved. Campione Law is heavily involved on the Zoya side of things with the Icemen. And then meeting Andy over the last few years and discussions, we've come to an agreement, which is very exciting for all of us, to leverage all of our operational expertise and assets to give Jacksonville Armada the best opportunity of success within the country. And that's really the statement that's being made. Not only do we get to leverage some of their key executive team members, and some of these members are NFL experience, multiple years within the sports entertainment world.
Shout out to Mike DiMartino.
Mike DiMartino. We get to really kind of build and strategize with amazing leaders. Part of their piece is coming in and overseeing commercial assets, ticket sales, customer service, supporting on the marketing ventures and campaigns that we have going on with our internal team. And we'll be making some announcement here shortly for some key internal hires that are obviously coming on board.
Excited about those. Very
exciting. And just, again, good people who love Jacksonville, our city, the Armada, they understand it, is really key. And it supplements and helps support people like Louis, who have been around the organization for 5-6 years now, from in fact, let's go longer, 10 years when you were a fan, to then becoming an intern, to now becoming, someone who's a key partner, part of our front office. And so there's so many exciting things, and Zoya really are going to be a great partner, operating partner, and a piece of expertise that takes this really to the next level.
Yeah, and I can still remember calling Andy about when I first kind of thought about embarking on this journey, and some of the advice but support that he's given along the way. It's so exciting, for this to be able to be public, for people to kind of get a better glimpse of what's going on underneath the hood. Because a couple weeks ago we made our announcement. There's only so much we can say at this point in time because of some of the constraints we have on us. But and you want people to know what's going on. You want people to know how hard we've been working, all the pieces we have in place that are going to ensure our success. But you just can't say it, and it feels good as that veil is starting to lift. For those of you guys that are paying attention, they can kind of see what we're working on over here.
Yeah, I think this is definitely one of the biggest puzzle pieces, I think, in the entire journey. If anyone knows anything about the Zoya Sports multiverse, I mean, everything they touch turns to gold. It's fantastic, the work that Andy and his crew do over there. I just was at the Icemen opening night game Friday night. They were competing with everything to do that there is to do in Jacksonville, including the fair right across the street, but they still got over 10,000 people in for that first match.
That's
and
amazing. Just
just under 20K for their opening weekend. So I know, just following in their footsteps, having them as an operating partner is just, sets us up for success.
And I don't think you could have said that better. It's like, and I can't speak higher of an individual than I can about Andy. I've been invested on multiple teams with him. Literally everything the man touches turns to gold. And he's one of the kindest souls you'd ever meet. Very smart guy. And he's put together a great team around him, and they have a great method, of being able to bring in some of these, very talented and skilled executives that you generally just don't see in some of the lower level leagues.
Yeah, it's a major sports executive team. And going on to the cultural side, talk about just cheese and crackers. It just came together culturally. You have a conversation with Scott. You see that same empathy, passion, love, friendship of Andy and what Andy portrays to everybody into Scott. And then Scott bleeds that down into the exec team, who would then obviously, over the last couple of weeks, we've started to integrate into certain departments and so on and so on. And it just bleeds down.
Yep.
And, for us to have a very culturally driven mindset as well, an environment of what we've created, particularly on the sporting side, because our sporting side has been more dominant than our front office side over the last 6-7 years because of the position of the club. It really was just one of those moments of, wait, everybody's on the same page here. Everybody's all in line. And culturally, that's what's really exciting.
Yeah.
And this whole partnership allows that to grow quicker and be more integrated and just to streamline straight into what will be the next chapter of the Armada.
And I say this with pride. I think, taking the Icemen and putting them aside because they're our brothers and sisters, I don't think that there is a sporting team or club in Northeast Florida that is stewarded by folks that love Jacksonville more than we do.
100% agree.
Like
100%.
I feel it every day in what we do, and talking, communicating between the different folks. It's really exciting, and this piece is just, it's exciting news to share.
Yeah, super. And that goes back to, again, I said it on a previous podcast, when we were talking with the league and MLS, and we got to spend a great few days with them at the MLS All-Star in Austin and get to experience the true MLS culture as such. And an MLS exec had asked me, well, what does Chris really know about soccer? And I returned around and I said, first of all, Chris loves Jacksonville. And that is the most important piece.
Well, and I think, too, because a lot of times the folks that own the team are the general partners of the team. One thing about myself, I will never claim to know more than I know, right? I know my limitations. And you can see it sometimes, I think, when you watch professional sports teams where the owners are too involved in the sporting operations. I don't think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
The people that are there in the positions, right? The ex-athletes like yourself, right? That are there every day coaching the team, running the team, making the personnel decisions, right? In my opinion, right? That's something I should stay the hell out of.
Yeah.
I like to know what's going on.
Yeah.
I like to make sure the folks that are in those positions know what they're doing, right?
Also fair.
But, too often just me as the spectator sits back and says, what the heck does that guy know about running a football team or a basketball team?
Right.
Like you see Mark Cuban down there on the court. The guy looks like a fool. Like what is he doing? Like, I'm sure Mark Cuban, can, likes to play pickup games, but how in the world does that justify him to
or Jerry Jones doing press conferences after?
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. So, I take that as a compliment, Nathan.
Yeah, and look, you will know soccer. And
he's already asking. That's the best part. He wants to know.
Awesome.
You want to know.
I do.
We sat there at the Austin game, at the All-Star game, for a good 15, 20 minutes. And, of course, there's so much going on around the whole event.
Yeah.
And, of course, other owners want to get to understand and meet. But we got probably a 15, 20-minute period of just sitting there and watching the game and talking through some little pieces of the game and how some of that replicates to what the Armada try and create and so on and so on. But I also think from top down, everybody should know of what the football style is, right? At the end of the day, the product is the football.
Yeah.
Everything else around it is hugely important, and especially in America, hugely important. The whole game day experience, fan experience, et cetera, et cetera. But there still is a core, and that's the product that's on the field. And if we're going to have really aligned communication from top to bottom of the organization, then you're going to need to know what you're seeing.
Hey, I sat in on a sporting meeting today.
You sure did.
I'm trying to pick up little tidbits here and here.
Yeah.
But what I can tell you as the primary partner, the steward, whatever you want to call it, right? I might not know the game, but what I do know is I don't like to lose. I don't like to lose at anything. I refuse to lose. So what I can promise you, those out there watching, those that are our Armada fans, is we will be one of the best, if not best, football team week in, week out when we get on that field.
We love it. And look, our women's and men's MPSL team haven't lost a game, home game, since 2018, early 2018, I believe. So
we share that.
We want to win. We all want to win. And going on to the sporting side, we have some great people who, again, we can't fully announce at this moment in time, but they are working internally. And things already, wheels are turning and people are moving. And there's some really exciting conversations that have been happening, particularly over the last couple of weeks, because we got to get rolling.
We got to get rolling. And I've made some mentions here and there or whatnot. But, in order for us to meet these deadlines, we need to be going vertical in January. All things are go for January to start, for the public to start seeing the stadium being erected. Now, obviously, some things can take longer or shorter with MLS approval, et cetera, right? Those, when I'm talking about rolling with the punches, that's what I'm talking about, But, those out there watching, have no doubt that we're putting in 16-hour days every day to get us there and you guys there in the city of Jacksonville, the football team they deserve.
Well, with that work, we have to have a house and a home to
Yes.
work out of. And yes, we've been putting in the 16 hours, and we had a very late working night last week, which I got to come over and see the family and get to see your wonderful
Casa del
boys,
Campione.
the Casa del Campione. But we do have an office now
Yes.
as well, which I think we should break today
We should.
and say that we've moved in to a downtown office.
Yes. I think a very impressive office. If any of the fans out there ever want to stop by, just call Nathan's personal cell phone. No, I'm just kidding. But we are downtown at 501 West Bay Street, second floor, beautiful offices. It's I think they're becoming of what we are.
Yeah, you when you press the reset button, and we have, right? We've pressed the reset button. Yes, we've got over 10 years of history with the Jacksonville Armada, but this truly is a new chapter that's being turned. Louis, you've got to experience this over the last couple of weeks, Corbin as well, of like, we're in startup mentality,
Yep.
right? And the way the office has been developed and built, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. We are now entering that startup from an operation standpoint, but in what is a beautiful, beautiful office. So we're very excited about it. And as it evolves over the coming months and we start to bring on more employees and it becomes a real working office, we really are lucky to be in such a beautiful building.
Absolutely.
It definitely
And the
feels-
building is beautiful.
Yeah, it feels like a brand new iteration of the Jacksonville Armada almost. Armada 3.0 or 4.0. It just feels like those past 5 years where I was working for a different team and now we're starting here. It's a fresh new space and super locally driven. I think that's the main part of this is that we're downtown. The office is downtown. The stadium is downtown. Chris is always downtown. So it kind of just works out everything together. And this is the new era of the Armada.
Well, and, to me, one of the reasons why I think this is going to be so successful, we talk about it being a startup, right? But, Nathan over here, Nathan has seen everything in the generations before that maybe didn't work or wasn't, an idea that felt good at the time but wasn't the right way to do it. And it's one of the reasons why I think we're going to be so successful with Nathan's leadership. And you can literally watch the other football team in Jacksonville make the same mistake that the Armada made in the past. And, at a certain point, what is the definition of insanity? Trying the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
Yep.
But that's why the stadium project is so important. That's why the other club, I think, is putting out announcements that look like, crypto scams every other week, talking about, the new stadium that they want to build. Because the stadium is such an important part of the entire project, right? It's what makes it, I think, economically viable to be able to give the city that club. So it's like, do I have any doubt at night when I go to sleep whether or not this thing will work? No, I do not. I really don't.
Well, I think it goes to the quote you keep using, and it's built by Jacksonville for Jacksonville. And I think it's such a powerful quote as we go through this process. Not only, Zoya's a huge announcement, the downtown office is a huge announcement. The next iteration of announcements coming where people are going to start to understand real local principals who are going to be heavily involved in the Armada, in this new generation or new era, new voyage of Armada. We're going to start to, the fans and everybody at home is going to start to get a real touch of, okay, this is very local. This is very ingrained.
It is some of the biggest leaders, community leaders, folks that really give a crap about Jacksonville that make up our cap table.
Yeah.
And that's exciting. I mean, it is like no other sport outside of our brothers and sisters at the Iceman, where you will be able to look in the stands and see the folks that are in the daily commercials, see the folks that you're seeing on the TV or the news locally, right? It's just one of the reasons why I know we're going to be so darn successful.
But I think, we love to say, we love the hockey, but I think soccer fans are just a little bit different. I think Andy doesn't quite know what he's getting himself into in that aspect, I think. Soccer fans are a little bit rabid. They're a little bit wild. They're very, very passionate. So I think, having that stadium to be able to funnel all that passion and energy into one place, especially the downtown core, it's just a recipe for success.
Well, and I'm an Italian American. I'm generally, or I'm just, at default, I'm a very passionate guy. I like to talk with my hands. I like to talk loud. So don't think for an instance I'm not going to lean into that passion. I've seen Green Street Hooligans. I love the movie. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, I love the passion. I think we're going to do everything we can as a club to foster that passion. Even more than maybe we have in the past. I want this thing to be something that we all take pride in.
Yeah, I think that's such an important piece. And, when it truly is said and done, when, we got the experience in London a few weeks ago, and we got to go to a Premier League game. We got to see the craziness and the culture that's built around some of those generations. That's 100+ year club, right? We are now in the 10th, the next era of the past these 10 years of Armada, and we've still got another 90 years to go to catch up with those clubs, right? But we get to really cultivate what fandomship is for the Armada, the experience, what that looks like. Is it pub culture? Is it tailgate culture? Is it the march to the stadium? Is it smoke? Is it drums?
All of the above, Nathan.
Exactly. So, we get a great opportunity here to work closely with Section 904. We'll give a shout out to Section 904.
Absolutely.
And the amazing people at Section 904 to really start cultivating what that game day experience looks like. Marching to our home.
With the blue lights down the trail.
The blue lights, the blue smoke, the yellow smoke, the drums, everybody going off. I mean, that has always been a want, a need, a vision. And we're not too far away from that.
Well, I think once we do end up joining MLS Next Pro, we'll have one of the most interesting stories in all of American sports to get to where we are at. And Nathan had been with this team, like we said, for over a decade, but he was with this team at a time where they were owned by the league, a league that now doesn't even exist. So it's quite the journey that not only Nathan, but Section 904 and the fans have taken. But through all that, we've seen the same faces, had those same traditions, built those same relationships, and those same people are still here till today. So I think that only just further fosters what's going to happen within this new stadium.
I could not agree more. And I said, we're going to win, but we're also going to have more fun than everybody. From the fans all the way up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And winning is fun.
Winning is fun.
We're going to win.
Is fun.
We're going to have fun. We're going to do great things for the city, for the community. We're going to give people jobs. We're going to put soccer players on the field.
Yeah.
It's all good things.
Yeah, life-changing. It really is. And I think when we take a big step back and we look at all the opportunities that this club is going to provide, the stadium, the real estate asset, everything around it, it's going to change lives. And, the dream, the footballing dream in me is to see that young boy, young girl come out of the East Side community and become a professional player on that field and that stadium, right? And if we could live the fairy tale dream, which we know happens in other markets and other countries.
There are examples.
There are examples of that in real life. Like, when that day comes, it truly is going to be one of the proudest moments ever, along with the opening day of that stadium and seeing the community of Northeast Florida come together to cultivate around the anchor, the Armada, what it is here in Jacksonville. It's going to be very powerful moments, and we're not far off from experiencing all that.
Couldn't agree more. And I said this, I think, yesterday when I was doing a show. I said, outside of the jumbo shrimp, like, us Jacksonians have gotten a raw deal. We don't get to win a lot.
No.
Not
a lot.
So that's one of the reasons, outside of my just natural competitive drive, why I think it's so important. But to what Nathan, had just said, it is exciting to have something like that in the community, because right now there's just nothing like that, from Orlando to Charlotte, where you're talking about a kid being able to grow up in a region, right, and to be able to reach kind of that pinnacle of MLS within that MLS ecosystem. And it's something that, we're on the verge of being able to deliver, and it's exciting.
Yeah, I think we're slowly starting to show you why MLS is the right pathway. You're seeing it now all the way down from MLS Go level. There's a pyramid being built. You can have that kid from the east side under your wing and have them from all the way from the age of 4 all the way up until the age of 18 until they're ready to sign that professional contract.
Without a doubt.
So it's definitely an exciting thing that doesn't happen in other sports. It doesn't happen in hockey. It doesn't happen in professional football. But it will happen in professional soccer from time to time, where you get a kid who is from the 904. He comes through and he wants to play for that badge because, you know what? He was in those stands. He wore those colors, and now he wants to be in that field.
Well, we have a living experience on the business side, right? With you, Louis.
Yes.
I mean,
Talk
you
about
know,
Nathan on a documentary.
Yeah.
We got this guy in a documentary.
that's a celebrity of Fleet and Footy. You know, it's those cool moments that we get to achieve, right? Everybody gets caught up on the football side and so on, but also it's people like you, it's examples like you that become fans, go to college, go to high school, do their thing, come out, and then get the opportunity to intern with the team, to then come on as a full-time staff. So, you know, again, opportunity is going to play a big part for everybody, and life-changing for everybody in this community. And as the sport progresses, particularly into what we're calling probably the biggest influence of any soccer year in our lifetime since, or 94, I was a few years old then, but 94 was the last World Cup, was the last injection of serious investment into soccer in our country. I call it our country now. You see that? I'm American at this point. I'm American at this point. But
Veterans Day.
Freedom!
And it is Veterans Day. It is. And, you know, to move into 26, knowing the impact of what the World Cup's going to play on this sport for the future, I mean, it couldn't be better timing.
The timing could not be better. And not just to mention the football side of things. You like it, I'm calling it football, and you're calling it soccer over here. But the football side of things. Also, what's going on in the city of Jacksonville. It's like the perfect culmination of timing.
Yeah, it really is the perfect storm. You're starting to see that investment into the downtown core, and we're going to be a part of that investment. We're going to be a part of that excitement. It's going to be a really changing thing for that East Side community.
I've read a couple of these articles that they published since we made our announcement, and you know, I get it, right? We're from Jacksonville. We get it. We're promised projects all the time, and most of the time they don't happen, right? That's part of being a Jackstonian, right? Just get sold a bag of goods, and you know they tell you
a nice rendering. You get to see a nice rendering.
Yeah, right. But you know, and it's like I almost don't want to say anything about it. I almost just want to be like, you know, just show me.
Yep.
Wait and see. I'll show you. Right? I'm not going to talk about it. We're just going to go out there, and you're going to see bulldozers moving one day.
Yeah.
Very shortly in the coming months, you're just going to see bulldozers moving. You're going to see concrete being poured, and you're going to see, you know, stands being erected. You know, but I'm excited to, you know, for the folks to see what we live and breathe every day.
Yeah, I think it's just become a different story now. Like I mentioned, we're in the Armada 4.0 phase, and this office, the building that we're in, just really takes it to that next level. You're seeing just the collaboration just fly within this building, and I'm having such a fun time being involved in all these great discussions. And like we said, there's so much we cannot say, and there's so many fun people that are about to join this ship with us, and I really believe that we're going to go sailing into something really successful.
Absolutely. And you know what we should do tomorrow? We should do like a video tour of part of the new offices.
Okay.
So I don't know if we can do that yet or not.
I'll have to defer that one to Nathan, but
I'm just saying.
We're getting close.
Okay, never mind. That was a horrible idea.
We're getting close.
Shut down.
Might,
We're
maybe a
close.
sneak peek, maybe like a sneak peek or something. We'll be able to
Let's
figure
see
it
a
out.
couple of peaks. Yeah.
Wait till Nathan's in the back.
Well, to that said, I mean, at some point here, we'll have an open house, and you know, everybody can come on in, and we'll share.
Anchor
with,
Dorado.
Yeah, some Anchor Dorada.
Sorry.
That's what Ruby Beach. We got you, Ruby. But yeah, some amazing lager. I love that lager.
Fantastic.
We do have to bring in the. I do have a kegerator that's got to come in.
Was there a new beer released today that I saw?
Section 904's beer, right? Section
Tomorrow.
904 did a. Is it tomorrow?
It's tomorrow.
It's a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday just gone.
What is it?
If we're on the thing. So it's a Modelo.
It's like a Modelo Negro kind of beer.
Yeah, the darker type.
Oh, I'm blanking on the
we
name
got to
right
taste
now.
them last week.
Yeah, and it was
good.
pretty.
It was good.
Pretty good. Yeah.
It was good.
What is a Modelo Negro?
Like a
like a
dark-
dark lager. So like the normal Modelo is, I don't know, your classic light beer, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Looking light beer. I actually love
I
Modelo,
guess
by
that
the way.
makes sense.
This one's a dark lager, like a Yingling type
Ah.
Yes.
Okay.
look and feel,
Okay. I had a Guinness the other day. With
but
Nathan.
Mexican.
You
I
should
mean,
have seen him. He was just
I
complaining.
I
He
think
was
I
complaining
only
on the heads
I
all the
only
time.
have Guinnesses when I'm with Nathan. I think that's the only time I ever have Guinness.
Listen,
Such a Guinness
I'm gonna-
snob.
I'm gonna
Complaining the whole time. Oh, look at the head over there.
I'm a little bit of a Guinness connoisseur.
Well,
I'm not gonna
we
lie.
know you are a Guinness connoisseur, so this is one of my favorite topics with you. Can you give us your top 3 Guinness pours in Jacksonville, Florida?
Top 3 Guinness pours. I can give you. I can give you
No,
2.
no. I know he's got a couple. I know he's got a couple.
It's Nathan stares.
No,
at the camera for
actually,
30 seconds.
I've got 3.
Okay,
I just realised.
there you go.
And I'm gonna put it at the top.
Oh.
I'm gonna put it at the top. And okay, first one.
Hooters.
Not Hooters.
Sorry.
Not Hooters. Good wings, but not Hooters. Timwaquana Country Club.
Okay.
There is the.
Okay.
No. And that's why I was a little. When I said, I'm like, there's not going to be many people who are going to try the Timwaquana Golf and Country Club
But just in case you're
Guinness.
out
However, there is an English gentleman, and I wish I remembered his name, who is the food and beverage guy.
Okay.
He knows his Guinness.
Is that why you like it so much?
He's got a certain line. Because you're from the keg to the pool, you're supposed to have a certain line, right? The length of line.
Okay.
Okay. And
there.
then
Scientific.
and then he's got the correct gas, which is I think he actually goes to like a 72-28% gas conversion.
Okay.
It is seriously. There's levels to this, right?
That's the
There's levels.
methane,
To
right?
this.
I
There's
didn't
levels
know.
to this. Secondly, European Street Cafe, Jacksonville Beach.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Jacksonville Beach, and then a third, of course, is Lynch's.
Lynch's. I was
Lynch's.
there the other day for the Horse's Mouth. The buddy of mine that wanted me to come on there and support
Yeah.
him. It was good time.
Yeah, Lynch has got a good one.
Yeah.
But there is an etiquette to it.
He's a snob.
There is an absolute etiquette to
Yeah.
it.
Tell us more about that.
I want some dome on it.
some dome.
So when they pour
Will
it,
knows what he's talking about over there.
yeah, when they pour it, there should be a dome on top of the
Okay.
glass, right?
I haven't heard
And-
that word in a while.
Yeah. And it's got to be poured at a, 45-degree angle.
Okay.
Left for at least 120 seconds.
So if you get the dome right, then you got to bend it over to the perfect degree. And
No,
then
the
you-
degree became before the dome.
Okay.
The dome's the last bit, the
Yeah.
finish. So yeah, there's an
Yeah.
etiquette to
yeah.
it. You know?
I like a good Guinness.
Yeah. I hope Keen's, which is the new downtown Irish
Yes.
bar, right? We had a great night.
We
That's
did.
where we shared our Guinness.
We did. Some of the best Guinness I've ever had there at Keen's. Place is fantastic if you haven't had it. Go try it out.
Amazing place. Amazing. Just
More
opened.
downtown development.
More
you know?
downtown
That's what we
development.
need, more action inside the downtown core.
There's some exciting news there, but we should probably hold that one.
Yeah,
for
we
another
should
day.
definitely hold that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we should 100% hold that one.
It's exciting.
But
But
good
there's
people.
exciting news.
And good
They're
people.
very
so-
good people,
Very good people.
and they love Jacksonville.
They're
They
very
love
fun. It's a very fun
Jacksonville.
time.
Yes.
That's exactly it. So yeah, look, I believe in life. Drinking, you should, if you can enjoy it, it's an experience.
I agree with that.
And you create great memories around it and
Great memories, great friends.
great friends. And I think it's a very much a ritual.
Absolutely. But there is, Guinness is one of those weird ones. There's like Miller Lite. You can pour a Miller Lite upside down. You can do a cake stand.
Exactly.
It's still Miller Lite, right?
Still
It's
Miller
the same.
Lite.
Like Guinness, there is a difference.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, there is.
There's a big
It's
difference.
serious. I mean, by the way, Guinnesses in New York are completely different to Guinnesses here as well.
Because of the water?
No idea. But a Guinness in New York are very good.
Okay.
Within the US,
It's the mineral water.
I don't know what it is. I know you can drink straight from it, right? Like they say, like the water in
the tap water.
in New York, the tap water in New York is the best in the country.
I was going to make a Hudson Bay joke, but
Hudson Bay. We'll let you play.
well, it wouldn't make sense though, because I believe the drinking water or the tap water in New York comes from the Great Lakes.
Is that right?
I mean, it was one of the first major Sorry, I'm a little bit of a history buff here. And I can usually remember about 80% of it and miss the 20.
I like this.
So-
You're missing the 20 right now.
It was one of the huge dam projects right around the time of the Panama Canal,
Okay.
where they essentially.
So it's not even their water in New York.
It's not even their water in New York City.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure
that ruins the whole illusion.
I'm pretty sure. It
So
comes
then
from the
all those
Great
pizza
Lakes.
places that are like, oh, we get our water from New York. Where do they get it from? Michigan? Like Michigan?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh my gosh.
I'm pretty sure.
Ruining the illusion.
Check me if I'm wrong. This might be like an Italian American heritage thing because I believe we were the ones that did most of the work on it, us and the Irish. But yeah, so,
Guinness and pasta. What more could go wrong there?
fun fact.
Awesome.
Well, is there anything else we want to talk about? How was it to do a podcast with me? Somebody so much more serious than Stuart.
No, you're
I'm just
very
kidding.
serious. No, Stuart keeps me rigid. I've got the producer, Will's a lot more calm. Shout out Hambone, but Will's definitely a lot more calm than Hamby. I'm not live, so I'm not someone screaming in my ear, 5 minutes, 1 minute. It's definitely a lot more laid back, relaxed,
Yeah, we try.
get to crack a couple more jokes, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
This is great. What a
Yeah.
great setup.
Yeah, we should
And Will,
this
you do
more.
a great job. You do a very good
Will
job.
is great. Will, you want to throw your last name out on the podcast? Okay, all right, very good. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and sign off for you. I appreciate you guys watching. There's going to be more Armada news to come, so keep your eyes open, eyes and ears open. We'll see you next time on Allegedly.